All right, let's jump right in. I want you to picture the late 1990s. The internet is really starting to take off, right? And in the database world, there's this really cool open source project called PostgreSQL. It's got a super passionate community, tons of potential, but it also had one massive problem that was holding it back from greatness.
So, the big question is, how did it go from being this interesting, kind of niche project to the absolute powerhouse that we all know today? What was that secret ingredient? Well, it all came down to one single, revolutionary change in its architecture. See, even though the PostgreSQL community was amazing, and the database had some really advanced features for its time, there was this one thing, this constant bottleneck that just kept it from playing in the big leagues. It was the elephant in the room.
And that challenge, in one word, was performance. Specifically, how it performed when things got busy. When you had a bunch of users, a bunch of different apps, all trying to read and write data at the same time, the whole system would just slow to a crawl. It couldn't keep up. And then the solution arrived. Starting around the year 2000, with the PostgreSQL 7 series, something new appeared. It was a totally different way of thinking about how users and data interact, and it was called MVCC. And let me be clear, this wasn't just some minor update. It was a complete reinvention from the ground up.
So what on earth is MVCC? I know, the name Multi-Version Concurrency Control sounds super complicated, but the core idea behind it is actually beautiful and simple. It's a system built so that everybody can work in the database at the exact same time. No more waiting in line, no more getting kicked out because someone else is in the middle of a big update.
And the difference was just night and day. Think about the old way, with locking like a single-lane road. If one car stops, guess what? Everyone behind it is stuck in a traffic jam. One person writing to the database could block dozens of others who were just trying to read some data. But with MVCC, PostgreSQL basically gives every single user their own personal lane. It creates what's called a snapshot, a consistent view of the data from the moment they started so everyone can cruise along in parallel without ever bumping into each other.
And I really can't overstate this enough. This was an absolute game changer. This one feature completely redefined what Postgres was capable of, and because of that, who could actually use it for serious work. That performance bottleneck? Poof, gone.
But here's the thing. MVCC was just the beginning. It was the cornerstone. And over the next few years, from 2000 to 2003, the developers took this incredible new foundation and started building a truly mature, reliable, enterprise-ready database on top of it. You can really see how all the pieces came together during this time. After MVCC became the default in 2000, the very next year brought write-ahead logging, or WAL. You can think of WAL as the database's indestructible black box recorder. It logs every change before it actually happens, which guarantees that even if the whole server crashes, your data is safe. Then in 2002, we got Toast, a really clever system for storing huge things like images or big documents without bogging everything down. And finally, by 2003, better drivers made it super easy for pretty much any application to connect to Postgres. Each new feature was like adding another layer of armor, another layer of trust.
Okay, so we've got all this cool new tech, but what did it all mean in the real world? It meant that PostgreSQL wasn't just for academics or hobbyists anymore. It was finally ready for serious business.
All of a sudden, PostgreSQL had this massive competitive edge. It could handle the crazy, high-traffic demands of modern web apps without even breaking a sweat. It became a legitimate contender for big enterprise companies because it gave them the best of both worlds, incredible speed and rock-solid, trustworthy data consistency. It was the perfect tool for the job.
You know, this era, it did way more than just add features to a list. It completely forged a new identity for PostgreSQL. It built this legacy of confidence and established the reputation for reliability that it still has to this very day.
And this new reputation was really built on three key pillars. First, just rock-solid data integrity. People knew they could trust it with their most important information. Second, a quickly growing ecosystem of tools that made it super easy to build things with it. And third, a loyal and passionate user base that was growing like crazy because they all believed in where this project was headed.
And really, it all boils down to this one powerful idea. Handling thousands of things happening at once isn't about just letting chaos reign and hoping for the best. True concurrency, it's not chaos at all. It's architecture. It's about having a smart, elegant design.
And that's exactly what MVCC was. It was the brilliant architecture that allowed PostgreSQL to become a master of handling complexity and a master of doing it with style.
This entire transformation really just set the stage for the next giant leap forward. With the performance problem solved and this new reputation for being totally reliable, well, the floodgates were about to open. PostgreSQL 8.0 was just around the corner, and with it came native support for Windows, bringing it to millions of new people. But that's a story for another time.